Welcome.
Welcome to the Everythink podcast, and hopefully if the episodes have come out when I wanted to, there's not been any gaps from the animated episodes for the first time in about a week. It feels like at this point probably is about that anyway, but in this episode I'm going to be covering the Big Finish era of Class 2.2, so if you want to listen or watch all of my Volume 1 reviews and my 2.1 review, it's in the class playlist or videos, and there's several ways of finding that. But as I said, I'm going to talk about, in this episode, I'm going to talk about Class Big Finish 2.2, titled Now You Know. But before I get to my review, it's time for the Catalyst writer, director, synopsis, and stuff like that. So we have Greg Austin, I should mention this is for the entirety of Volume 2. I was starting to include yesterday's episode, hopefully come out today's episode, and hopefully tomorrow's episode, or the next episode. So we have Greg Austin as Charlie, Fadi Alciad as Ram, Sophie Hopkins as April, Vivian Opera as Tanya, Georgian Renzo as Mateusz, Catherine Kelly as Miss Quill, Sophie Aldred as Ace, Nicholas Briggs as the Daleks, Taj Atwell as Regan, Anson Boone as Peter, Shram Martz as Michelle, and Wilf Scolding as Chris. The writer of Now You Know was Tim Leng, and the director was Scott Hancock. The synopsis is as follows: Following a series of freak attacks on staff and pupils, Tanya and Mateusz find themselves investigating a mystery that dates back to the 1960s. Together they hope to solve it, even if that means taking on one another to do so. Class of Now You Know, with the entirety of both class volumes 1 and 2, was released in August 2018. So I loved the backstage interviews at the end, because it's just nice to see the actors in real life, not the characters. I liked the reference, I liked hearing more of Mateusz and Tanya, because we didn't see much of that on TV, and we haven't, and this is their first story back together. And yes, and I liked seeing Mateusz stand up to bullies, both stand up to bullies really. Without further ado, here's my view of Class Big Finish 2.2, titled Now You Know. Tanya attempts a maths paper. Michelle interrupts Tanya. Tanya insults Michelle's work ethic. Michelle swears at Tanya. Someone instructs Tanya to leave school. This person is chased by something. We then have the iconic title sequence. Mateusz finds Tanya. The person who asked Tanya to leave school and was subsequently attacked is revealed to be the school's caretaker. Mateusz helps Tanya think optimistically. Mateusz is threatened by Chris. Tanya and Mateusz eat lunch together. Tanya blames herself for the caretaker being attacked. Mateusz comments on Chris's appearance. Mateusz and Tanya mention the insecurities they have to each other. Tanya introduces Mateusz to Michelle. Chris bullies Michelle. Now Chris bullies Mateusz and Tanya. Tanya swears at Chris. Tanya stops Mateusz from attacking Chris. Mateusz confronts Chris about his comments towards Tanya. Mateusz and Chris fight. Chris is scared of the same thing the caretaker was. Mateusz tells Tanya about the medical assistance that Chris requires. Tanya and Mateusz check on each other via phone call. Mateusz mentions his meeting with the deputy head teacher, as well as his theory regarding Chris's injuries. Tanya mentions Mateusz's altercation with Chris. Tanya reads a parent's letter out loud. Tanya hacks into the school server. Mitesh floats the idea of Tanya changing his grades. Tanya reads out several emails from the senior leadership team. Mitesh recounts his altercation with Chris to Tanya. Tanya and Mitesh hear a noise that frightens them. Michelle insults Mitesh and Tanya again. Michelle, Tanya and Mitesh run away from the creature that attacked both Chris and the caretaker. The creature attacks Michelle. Mitesh walks home with Tanya. Mitesh repeats what the creature said to Tanya. Tanya and Mitesh believe everyone that the creature has attacked are bullies. Mitesh and Tanya work out that the person inside the creature is a former pupil of Cole Hill. Tanya and Mitesh discuss not getting enough sleep last night. Tanya reminds Mitesh of her age. Tanya chooses to not involve Charlie in this situation. Tanya has created an algorithm that searches for missing Cole Hill students. Tanya references the event of the first ever Doctor Who story, which was broadcast in November 1963. Tanya wakes up Mitesh. Tanya's algorithm has discovered the identity of the boy inside the creature. Tanya's algorithm also provides background information on Peter. Tanya theorizes on the cause of Peter's disappearance. Mitesh suggests reasons for him being bullied, leads to Tanya inventing a way to find Peter's next victim. Mitesh and Tanya bully each other. Peter speaks to Tanya and Mitesh. Peter recounts being bullied to Mitesh and Tanya. Tanya and Mitesh follow Peter. Mitesh and Tanya attempt to help Peter, seeing he's doing the wrong thing. Peter understands the true ramifications of his actions. Tanya and Mitesh read the newest parents' letter, and Michelle apologises to Tanya and Mitesh. That is my review of Class Big Finish 2.2, titled Now You Know. There's a bit of behind the scenes. So Scott Hancock, who's the director and producer and writer of some of the episodes, director and producer on all of them so far, Scott Hancock, who's now involved in the scripts on Doctor Who TV show, talks to Vivian, who plays Tanya, and Jordan, who plays Mitesh, about working together again this episode. Scott also talks to this episode's guest cast, and Jordan mentions the scene in which Mitesh confronts Chris, as well as Jordan and Vivian talking about their future hopes for their characters. So you can kind of figure out if you go off the Volume 1 format, and there's 3 episodes in each volume. But in the next episode, I will be covering Class Big Finish 2.3, which is titled In Remembrance, which stars Greg Austin as Charlie, Catherine Kelly as Miss Quill, Sophie Aldred as Ace, and Nicholas Briggs as the Daleks. And to get prepared for that episode, here's the trailer for Class Volume 2, which will obviously include bits from this episode 2.1 titled Everybody Loves Reagan, and obviously a sneak peek at In Remembrance. Here is the trailer for Class Volume 2.
Please don't tell me you know the Doctor.
Yes, you too.
Yes. He's a pain and not to be relied on.
Yep, she knows him.
Coming soon from Big Finish Productions. Class Volume 2.
Reagan Harper!
Oh, just a moment. Oh, hey, April. Do you want to talk?
Please, it's too much. I want to go home.
You're bonkers, but I kind of like it.
Like me?
Alert! Dangerous organic compound detected!
Please, if you kill me, Rhodia, all of it was for nothing!
Obviously!
Big Finish. We love stories.
Now you know what it's like.
So that is the trailer for Class Volume 2, which will include scenes from this episode, this review, the last episode which I covered, which was 2.1, and obviously the next episode where I'll be covering Class Big Finish 2.3, titled In Remembrance. But back to this episode, let me know what you thought of Class Now You Know. If you listen to it, keep having to remember that it's listen, not watch. If you watched it, my review, if you didn't, put your thoughts on both of those in the comments below, as well as anything else you want me to cover on the channel. It could be review suggestions for TV shows and movies, so ones that you've got to look forward to. I think the next one's Oppenheimer. We've got Fallout, the Prime Video series based on the game, House of the Dragon, The Boys, The Fall Guy. I think there's a few more, Hitman, I think. is another one. I can't remember them all off the top of my head. Doom Patrol is actually on there, and Two Broke Girls are some of your suggestions, which will be featured in episodes coming up at some point. But hopefully I'll do most of them by the end of the year, and soon, as you will have noticed. But yes, remember. Suggestions. I didn't finish because I got sidetracked as well. Remember, you could also comment anything else you want to cover the channel, so it could also, as well as TV show and movie suggestions, it could be a book, a comic, or it could be some news on your favourite TV show or movie you'd like to talk about. Put all of those in the comments below as well. And remember, you can also like, comment and subscribe. And that's it for this episode of the Everything Podcast. Goodbye.